Yeah, thank you for joining us here on an Outfest. Hello, everyone. My name is Byron Adams, and you are here with our Latinxellence Shorts program with amazing filmmakers who were able to join us today for this Q&A. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. I just want to say that it's always amazing to see Latinx films that we have an opportunity to engage in and see a differentness and newness, and just to watch them grow and watch how, when we tell our own stories, how much more nuanced and honest they are, and how much more lively these stories get told. And I really appreciate every one of your films. They made me laugh, made me cry, made me feel seen. So I just want to thank you all for sharing your art and your talents, and we're so happy to have you here with Outfest LA. All right, so first and foremost, we have Garo comes out. So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hey, I'm Britt. I'm the co-director of Garo Comes Out.
I'm Caro, and I am the co-director and subject.
Sweet. Yeah, your film is really great, and it's like very funny because you're just, the whole concept is you are calling each one of your family members and telling them that you're queer, coming out to them. And it was kind of funny to see how, there were family members in your life that already knew and either knew through somebody else, but you took it upon yourself to kind of be like, I want to tell you whether you know this or not. Like, I want to share my life and my experience with you, and I want you to hear it from my mouth. And I kind of wanted to know, Britt, like, what was your inspiration of wanting to tell this story? And also, Caro, like, how was it telling and retelling your family that you were gay?
Me and Caro are friends from working in advertising for a long time, and Caro actually came to me and was like, I want to make this movie. I had made a film prior that was similar in style, so wanted to bring that style to Caro's project, which was really, really fun and really exciting. And I had no idea what to expect when we started, but was really excited that, Caro was so open that our entire family was interested and down to do this. So really, really happy that I got to, work with a friend and make this project.
Yeah, it was definitely wild and felt crazy. It was one of those things where I think it's interesting, like, when I had to map out how many family members I had, it was like 30. This is first cousins. It's like 32 first cousins, 10 aunts and uncles. And so it felt like, wouldn't it be insane if I actually had to come out to each person individually? And then as soon as, right after I text Britt the idea, I regretted it and immediately did not want to do this anymore. So it was a wild ride. It was definitely fun and awkward, and a lot of awkward and embarrassing.
I mean, I love how y'all like allow that awkwardness to live there, because I feel like it is such an awkward thing, especially with like family, and not really like your family loves you, and you never, it's always like a thing in terms of like feeling comfortable and feeling seen with your family, and then them just knowing. I mean, I feel like I was watching this and I was like, I know my family knows I'm gay, but like, do all of them know that I'm gay? Or like, have they heard this from me? And, it was just really fun to watch the awkwardness too. And even having support within your cousins who were like, I'll be like on the phone with you while you're calling like Arthia or something like that.
Yes.
I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And then ahorita tenemos Agua. Si Santiago quieres hablar de la película Agua. So we have a film called Water, and Santiago will be speaking a little bit about that.
Yeah, can you hear me properly? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what do you want me to talk about?
Yeah, so solo ahorita, if you can just go ahead and introduce yourself, say your name, if there's anybody else, si alguien más aquí que trabajó en su película también.
Sure. So so here we have, we are here. I'm Santiago, I'm the director of the film. Paulina, the producer, is here also.
Hola.
Hi, I'm Paulina.
And our photographer might be coming later, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to make it.
Okay. Yeah, somebody's trying to come in right now, but okay. All right. So I loved your film. I think it's so powerful and honest and real, and it talks about would you want me to ask you in Spanish or English?
Pau, ¿prefieres en
Yeah,
español?
For me, it's okay if it's in English.
Okay.
Yeah.
Si necesita,
Yeah, it's fine.
yo puedo cambiar también.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
thank you.
Okay.
Gracias.
Yeah, de nada. Yeah, you explore like self-acceptance, and you look at the story of this character in a rural town in Mexico, like outside of Mexico City, ¿verdad? And kind of like el machismo and like that surrounds him, and kind of wanting to escape that and wanting to be free of that, but also feeling pressure and scared, and like como tiene vergüenza, you know, y tiene miedo de lo que van a decir las otras personas en la película. So what was the inspiration for this film, and wanting to distinguish the things between masculinity, maleness, and also machismo?
Yeah, so many things right there. So first of all, the film takes place in an area of the city. It's inside the city, but it's a rural area, like a really ancient backwater system where people grow food, and it's not a touristic spot also, but it's just a reminiscent of like the ancient valley, right? But the interesting thing for me is that it's a place where the rural meets the urban, and it's a really conservative place, right? So that was really interesting for me, the location, all the locations, but like the area, the geopolitical aspect of like a story taking place in such a rich environment, right? And then, yeah, it's true what you're saying. It's more than like a film about like being queer or like not heterosexual. It's, for me, it was, I mean, he's gay, my character is gay, but it's more a film about how being male or a man and all that it means in a conservative society, right? So in that sense, I wanted to make a film in that place, and then in my personal life, I had like some stuff going on that somehow, in the alchemy of like writing a script, became the story, right? And shame has to do a lot with, like a theme. And it's interesting because I realized it was like about shame in a way. After I had already like started the project, I already pretty much had a crew and everything. And when I was like in my directorial treatment, I don't know if that's like a word in English, but like when I wanted to choose how to direct in some aspects, like the camera and the scene, the setting and everything, that's when I realized that shame was like a main aspect.
Yeah, it's an absolutely stunning and beautiful film, and just that moment where you know, Camille like gets called out and kind of makes that run and escapes. There's this liberation in that moment, but there's also that fear, and there's that thing with like coming out and coming into our identity as queer people, especially like in a culture that isn't always open to queerness, that really shows in that film. And I thought it was absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much. Yeah.
And well, just to add, well, I'm Paulina. I'm the producer. I'm our producer, the water producer. Well, Santiago and me, we met in the CCC, that is the Centro de Capacitación Cinematográfica, that is the school supported by the government here in Mexico. And I grew up in Tepepan, that it's a place that it's really close to Xochimilco. And for me, was a very interesting topic and a very beautiful story in one of the most beautiful places, as you said, because if you open a guide, a touristic guide, if you want to go to Mexico City, Xochimilco, it's a very touristic spot, but it's a spot and a place and a location that it's very root and it's very attached to the culture and to the traditions. So for me, it was very interesting this screenplay when Santiago started to talking with Angel, that it's the DOP, and with me as a producer. For me, it was very interesting to can mix this culture, these traditions, and to present in a film with this topic to talk about what happened if you think different, like Camilo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No,
I'm really glad that you like the short.
yeah. No, we're glad to have it. I'm glad that y'all made it and that we were able to see it. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Next we have In Color or En Color.
Hi. Hi, I am James Lucas. I am a director and co-writer for In Color. I am also co-wrote the music in the musical. And here with me are my two lead actors, and I like to they introduce themselves, and I talk a lot about the movie.
Hi, my name is Rodrigo Baron. I play the role of Ulises, who has this uniquely musical imagination. And yeah, thank you very much for everything.
And my other actor, Romani, ¿andas por ahí? Creo que tenía problemas de conexión, pero no sé si está justo ahora, si no, pues. Pero bueno, estaba por acá el otro.
Yeah, todavía está aquí, pero no lo puedo oír.
He has some trouble with connection, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so te voy a preguntar, a ver, ¿cómo hablaste? No sabía que usted hizo la música también para la película. And I think that's like the music is such a fun part of the film, and kind of just like talking about friendships and the differences between these two best friends, right? Who are they're friends, but they also have like a secret relationship, and one of them is obviously in love, and the other isn't necessarily as open to being in love. But I wanted to know, like, why did you choose to make this story into a musical? And then also the it's como like rock and emo style. So like,
yeah, it's
what was
totally
the
emo style.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first, the inspiration for making Color, it's a personal experience. I passed something like it happened in the movie when I was in the high school. And I love musicals. I am studying in the same school that my partners of water. We are from the same school in Mexico. And one of the things I want to do when I enter into school, I want to make musicals because in Mexico there is no a tradition of this cinematic genre. And I wrote and see many kind of films, but musicals was important of my life. And in my mind, when I walk in the street and I heard music in my headphones and a song I love, in my head it happens things, and in the reality it doesn't happen that. So when I have the opportunity to make this movie, I know that I want to talk about my about the love. My film is about love, but not the love. I feel that something that happened to all people in this planet, no matter what is your sexuality, is fall in love that someone doesn't love you in return. And sometimes it happens and you say, oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. But I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about the doubt of your sexuality, you know, because I think that every one of us in a moment of life, you have the question, I'm gay, I'm bisexual, I like my friend, and because I have that questions, and I want to put it in a film because I want to say it doesn't matter who you fall in love. The important is fall in love, and I want to make a musical because I love it and because it was no sé cómo decirlo, era un reto, era difícil hacerlo, no?
Yeah.
Because my school has 4 years, and in 4 years no one has to do a musical, and I want to make it because I know it was hard, and it was very hard to do it because we have to. The music is original. I was emo when I was in high school, and I love music for bands like My Chemical Romance or Green Day or AFI, and that music is still with me today. And I don't know, it's all the things that happen in the movie, those are not that happened to me in the reality, but some of them yes, and I want to make it in that time because it was my adolescencia, and and I want to talk about that music, about that age, and I found an excellent actor because they sing and dance in the movie, and are their voices. You know, I wrote the letter of the song and the rhythm, but a friend that is a specialist in music wrote all the music. He recorded all the instruments, and the actor sings. And we have a class of singing and dancing. We have an excellent choreographer from the Superior School of Dance in Mexico. And it was like 6 months of rehearsal.
Wow.
I don't know if my actors want to talk about something, but it was about love, about acceptance, and say it doesn't matter who you fall in love. The important is fall in love and take that step and take the lead. That's more kind of this.
Awesome.
Yeah, I also like to add that it's also a story about respecting yourself and accepting what you feel and who you are. And I know it's difficult when you are a teenager, but yeah, we have to do it. And also, this short film, it's like a message to those teenagers that feel that way. You know that they are not alone, and there's nothing wrong with having doubts with your sexuality, of course not. And also we have to respect others, you know, that well, my character, as you could see, find very difficult to express his feelings. He's an introvert, so he find this way, you know, through musicals to express it, which is great because I am a huge musical fan. So yeah, and thank you very much for letting us share this with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's a fun film and the music is great. I was very excited about all of it. All right, next we have Femenina. If y'all want to go ahead and introduce yourselves.
My name's Alana. I'm the writer and director. And then I have my actors here with me, I think.
Hi, I'm Nava Mao. I acted in Femenina.
Hi, I'm David Della Barsana. I also acted in Femenina.
Yeah. Hi, y'all. Thank you for being here. What I love about this story is that it's a love story, but it's a love story with a trans narrative that I feel like we don't get to see in this type of way. You know, like Nina's character, you are living your life, you are fully who you are, and it's not like a discovery for Nina, but it's more so flipped around a little bit, and it's a discovery for David's character. And I think I was kind of curious to know, like, how do you feel that the trans narratives are changing and shifting, and what made you want to like move forward with being able to express that, like a more specific nuanced trans narrative with like Latinx characters?
So like a big thing with like what I like to do as a filmmaker is like I'm trying to create content and like narratives that envision a brighter future for trans people. Like one specifically where we're valued for who we are instead of what we are. So like a big part of making this film and kind of flipping the script is kind of telling cis men that it's okay to see trans women and love them as for who we are. And it's kind of like the love story that I think I've always personally needed and never really had. So I just made it. And Nava and David were amazing.
Yeah, the acting's so great in it, and like the chemistry between you two is really awesome. So I don't know if you want to like touch in on being like these characters in this like flipped script narrative.
Do y'all want to say something?
Yeah. No, definitely getting the script and reading it and having it be like that flipped narrative on, you know, focusing on what it is to be like a cisgender male to and have feelings for someone who is trans. Like it put the spotlight on that to not only tell like trans people that it's okay, but like also the people you see every day and like just everyday life, like fighting against like the LGBTQ community, like saying that it's wrong or whatever, like to have this story being told from like, I guess like the kind of point of view from a cisgender male, you see that like there's acceptance on both sides. And that's what I like most about it, is that like, it's okay to love someone, not for what they are, but just like who they are. Like Ilana had said just really beautifully. So
I think that for me, it felt really easy to step into this character because of Ilana's writing and the preparation that she provided for me and for David. You know, she like made a playlist for me, and we had lots of conversations about who this character was and what this moment and this relationship meant to her. And so I felt very prepared. And we had a rehearsal like weeks prior to the shoot. So to me, it was easy to step into this character, and then it was pretty seamless. And it was a lot of fun. It was it 2 or 3 days? I don't even remember at this point.
I think it was like maybe like 3 days we rehearsed. We had like an actual physical boxing training day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We had to learn how to box. Like I watched a coach because like, you know, if you're gonna make a boxing film, you know, like I had to learn kind of how to box, and then I had to make sure that my actors knew how to. But like I think a real big thing for my film is, especially, you know, like Nina, just it's a regular day in the life at the boxing ring. Like I really want to show the world like we're regular people. I'm normal. I live a very normal life. I do stuff. I think there's this perception that trans people were othered, I think, a lot of the time. And so people like, they're like, oh, you directed a film? Like, oh, you like, yeah, I did that because I'm normal. We go to the box. We go boxing. We go to the gym. You know, we do all kinds of things. We're just normal, regular people. And it's just a matter of using media to kind of change that perception. And that's what I'm trying to do as a filmmaker.
It's great. I'm so excited that people got an opportunity to see it. All right, we have a few more minutes, and I want to be able to make sure that y'all can say what you got to say. So, muy gay to Mexicano. Y'all want to go ahead?
Hi, I'm Lorena, the director and producer of the short.
I'm Jorge. I am the writer of the short.
Yeah. All right. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Yeah, I love your short. It's so fun and funny, and it talks about this idea of duality. And I feel like that is such a big part within like the Latinx community. Just because, again, you know, my mom's from El Salvador, so like there's this thing where like when I'm with my family, like there's a type of culture that we have, and for a long time, like my queerness wasn't able to fit in that narrative into my family, until like I was just like, if you want me, like you got to have all of me, you know. And I really love the way you kind of like distinguish that between these two characters, these two roommates, And I kind of wanted to know what that like writing process was like, and also directing that, because we also don't know so much about these roommates until a little bit later.
I can take the first half of that. Yeah, no, I mean, you're right on it. It's very much about duality, and it came about. So I was born in Mexico City. I grew up outside of it. I grew up in a city called Cuernavaca, and I came to the U.S. for college, and I didn't come out until I was here in college. And a few years after I graduated, because of long immigration issues that I will not get into right now, I had to fly back home very unexpectedly. I thought I was going to be home for a few weeks and ended up staying almost 8 months. And it was the first time I'd been like in an extended period of time with my family as an out gay man. So throughout that time, I just felt like these almost two identities that were living within myself, like the environment I was growing up on and the person I had become while I was out. And like they all were just like coming out in different ways. And it very much felt like I was being two different people. It was like code switching in and out and you know, telling them things that in different ways that I would normally. So it just like came through in a very like concrete way. So after everything was done and everything was figured out and I was able to fly back here, I'm like, I should write something about this, because that's how I cope with stuff. Let's write something about it. So I was like, yeah, I think a good way of doing it is just like literally make these two sides of myself characters. And I'd met Lorena in film school. We went to film school together. We went through our immigration process at the same time, so I knew she understood a lot of like the duality. So I put the idea forward to her, and she's like, "Yeah, let's do this," and you take it over from here.
Yeah, Jorge and I have been friends for a long time, and nothing like immigration processes to bond, right? Yeah, he showed me the script, and I immediately fell in love with it, and it was just the little magical realism of being like just a step above reality, where you think the roommates, but then you realize they can't really see them. Is a really fun thing to play with, and kind of bring those two characters to the extreme of like each kind of side of JD's personality was really fun, and kind of just play with that. And we actually had a lot of discussions about like, when should we make it clear about, you know, whether they are real or not. And I think the fun of it is that like it isn't obscenely clear. You kind of like pick it up on it as you go, as you know, they don't get ever looks from the actual other person that's there. And it's fun to see like when different people watch it, they pick it up at different points in the story. But yeah, and that kind of playing with that nuance was one of my favorite parts of making this.
Yeah. All right. Well, we only have a few more minutes left, and I just want to say thank you all so much for being here and creating these films. Gracias a todos for creating like Latinx stories that people need to see. That you know, you're paving a way for more of these narratives to be accessible for people. And I'm so excited to have y'all be here with us. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.